Okay, so welcome to the Pip Breakdown. For this video, like I always say, I'll be touching on the major currency pairs. I'll be touching on a few others. I'm really just trying to keep this video 10-15 minutes long. I do want to say thank you to all the people who were messaging me and letting me know some different type of content, things they would like to see. So I will be doing like trader tips, mindset, and just breaking down the market in general to give you guys a display of how I go about analyzing the market and things just along that sort, because I know my method is kind of really simple application of a few things really. So let's just jump into it and touch on a few of these. So from the weekly time frame, on Australian US dollar, we can see that the pressure has been falling. So we're going to expect it to continue falling, right? And from the lower time frame, we can just see market structure falling. And on top of that, previously formed a new lower low while rejecting this resistance area. And so now it's just due to hit the support that's down here. And then from that, we do just see price making new lows, though we do have to be there to get that candle by candle, that fresh update to see how price reacts to this support area. Maybe we might see more Australian strength then, and price wants to push up, or maybe some US weakness, and so price goes up. So on to the next pair, we can see that the Canadian Japanese from the higher time frame was making new lows. Just trying to get it here. Yeah, so new lows, right? Evident market structure. So there's two possibilities here, because we do see this is the resistance, and we do have a resistance up here as well. These are the first two. Let's just not consider this top one for now. So we do have these. The general market structure is down, so we do expect this price to continue to fall. From there, we can either see price reject this resistance or reject this resistance and still be for valid shorts, right? From the lower time frame, we can see that we're getting some bullish market structure here, right? This tells us an indication that the short-term trend is up while the larger trend is down. So normally, if you're looking to buy this pair, you're only buying in the short term and you're selling in the long term. So like I showed, like this could be a possibility where this can rise and hit here back to this resistance from a double top, then continue falling, or even come up to this now at this point and continue falling, though it will be a really tough situation. Maybe it might happen in a week where we got a spike up, just so the weekly candle on weekly time frame doesn't break this resistance, you know what I mean? Like just a spike. So these are these possibilities from showing us this green candle, the indecision at this support area, just rejecting it in general. We can see that price decided to go up, and then if we're looking for our nice entries, we can see price came down into these areas perfectly, and is currently on its way back up to the resistance. So from here, we can see that on the Swiss Japanese, the general market structure is down, right? We must see how price reacts to this weekly resistance area, because it seems to be a very touchy area. We've touched it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times now, and it's still showing that it's keeping its structure there. Price is respecting it, so we got to see from what price decides to do there. Our possibilities are, once price hits the resistance from below, that it can lose its strength. The Swiss can lose its strength and this pair falls. Or alternatively, if price does decide to close above this resistance, we can see price then rising to the following resistance up here. And from there, those are really only possibilities. And from the lower time frame, we'll be able to capitalize on these opportunities using things like currency strength and correlation, things of that nature. And if you guys want to know more about correlation and how to apply that, how to get benefits from that, I felt like I learned something when I started researching and found out some things about something called basket trading. So I'm not really going to touch into that, but Google it if you're interested. Basically, it shows you, it's a way, at least to me, it was a way to relate the currency strength, see which one's going up, which one's going down, things of that nature. So seeing how this ex-Japanese pair can be rising, and this one can also be rising. I believe this one also shows some indications for rising, though overall I am short on this. It can show me that the Japanese is probably really weak right now, so it's sending the other prices up. Likewise, this is probably showing some up indications, though my overall trend on this is still down. And I will be touching on these in the Telegram group, so if you're not in the Telegram group, check the description down below and just get in that link. From there, I'll be posting these daily or every other day, updating the Telegram, letting you know the potentials for where the market can be headed, because I do emphasize that we do need those day by day, those candle by candle updates, so we can see how the market is actually feeling and where the market will actually like to go. So from this Euro USD, from the higher time frames, we can just easily tell that the trend is down, right? It's making more red candles than it is green, plainly enough. And then from this time frame, we do expect, from the daily time frame, we do expect price to make new lows. So it has already made new lows, yes, but you expect it to just gravitate from support to resistance, resistance to support. So in this case, it should fall down to this very strong weekly, monthly, something of the sort support, right? And then like this one isn't really currently relevant. This one's way more relevant. From once we get through this issue here, then we'll see if this is even a target or price will want to go back up. But for now, these are its possibilities. I'm still bearish on this pair just because of the overall trend. So price should, I don't care about this green candle. That's lesser stuff. Price should still just fall to the support before giving us new opportunities. Likewise, though, if we do continue to get more green candles, it's not like I'm going to switch to my bias to buy, but I do understand that I can capitalize on the short term, maybe by adding correlation, currency strength, and things like that to get to the next resistance, or maybe it might just come back to the half area, the 50%, before continuing downwards, right? But overall, the main thing is price should fall to continue with this main trend. So moving on to the next one, we'll just be touching on the pound US. And so if you watched the last Pip Breakdown video, you know that I was calling this short. If you watched the last Pip Breakdown video, you know I call a lot of these things and they went the way they did. So basically from this point in time, the overall trend is down. This is kind of like the last support area. So I'm not to say I'm against price breaking below this support area, though if it does break below this support area, just like have a look. There's not anything below it, like ever, right? So like it's gonna be really wild if that happens. I know if this does happen, you're gonna see something on the news along the line of Brexit, really bad, whatever. I don't really care what the facts are, what the news is saying, but nonetheless, if price breaks below these support areas, it's really bad condition for this pair. It's just in no man's land. And so, but that's a really long stretch. We need some dramatic pushes down for that to happen at this point in time. But those can happen in the next coming weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks or something like that. So, but something more relevant, something for next week, right? Because we want to work with what's happening next week. Price did close below this support area, so I am expecting it to come to this following support area to complete its downtrend move, and from here we will just see how the market plans to develop. Likewise, if price does want to give us a bullish candle like after this, I know for the short-term trading, I can be looking to take my profits at the resistance again, and maybe price will form a double top before building more momentum, more buyers and sellers on the spectrum to push price back down. And that's really as far as this one goes. This was a really strong resistance, so there's gonna need to be a lot of effort to push price above that area, right? But same thing goes for this support area. There's gonna need to be a lot of pressure for price to break through this. It's more likely that price will break through this resistance than this support, just for how long, like how aged these support and resistance areas are. Like this bottom one, the support is much older than this resistance, right? So the resistance is weaker, more likely to break, right? So let's move on to the next pair. The reason why these ones have already marked up is because I actually had to record this video again, and so these are already here. So pretty much, if you watch the last Pip Breakdown video, you know, the first one, the second one, I believe I called this short, maybe it was like 2-3 weeks ago, sometime around when I just started the Telegram group. So if you're not on the Telegram group, I mean, you can go in there and check it out, see my commentary for when I was calling this short and why I had this area for my target. So from there, price fell as expected, and price returned to its previous low, but also made new lows and fell all the way down to this very strong monthly resistance, right? So we know this is a very touchy area. We do have to see how the market will update. The major trend is down, so we got to see if price will want to break through this, and pretty much we gotta stay updated because price is at a very tough issue, just like the pound was when it was at that weekly resistance. It's just a fragile place, and the market may consolidate there for weeks, may consolidate there for a day, who knows. So you got to be there to see how the market updates. So from here, I can see that price made this little higher low, and so from this I can see the potential for price to surpass this previous high. And if it does, I'm be more likely to look for short-term trends to this resistance. I wouldn't be switching my total bias to long, just my short-term bias would be uptrend, right? And the reason why I was like mentioning we gotta wait to see how price updates, because this is a touchy area. Price has the ability to just consolidate here, or price can just fall. So we can see that price didn't just fall through, it pulled up for a little, so it can also just be giving us more downtrend market structure. We gotta wait for it to show what it wants to do. Though, like I said, if price does from this point on make a new high, I will be on the lower time frame looking for momentum to push price higher. So touching on the final few pairs, so you know, if you're in the Telegram group, you know that I've been calling this short for a very long time. Price is currently still showing us downtrend indications, like it wants to keep falling. We know the major trend on the weekly is down, so we expect on the daily for it to continue. And from this point on, we can just see Friday's candle was bearish. Thursday's candle, the day before the Friday, was indecision, and overall price is staying below this resistance. It's not even getting back into the resistance area really. It's just touching the base of the resistance. So from there we can just see price coming down to this support area for initial first targets. Second targets would then have to be this support down below, because like we say, if the trend is continuing, we should then get more new lows for downtrend and more new highs for uptrend. So that's pretty much is this. If you've seen my postings on this, you know I do have some trades in on this position, on this trade. So we're just waiting to see how that goes, and this is our bias. We do know that if price does find some support along the lines of here or wherever, but decides to give us more bullish market structure, we would then be looking for price to first close above the resistance before looking for reasons to buy, right? But that's only in the case of price wants to give us bullish market structure, and on top of that, close above the resistance. Other than that, this pair should be falling. So for this pair, we are still bearish, just because market structure is bearish. Lower time frame, we just started to show those downtrend market structures, so we can see whatever happens here. Yeah, so if you watch the last Pip Breakdown video, you can know I was calling this short, and not just because price broke above this resistance was I like this is an uptrend now, because we can see this previous spike up, price didn't break that, and on top of that, as I mentioned, from the weekly time frame, it's only a spike above. Price actually didn't close above the resistance, and we can just see with the sway of emotions from this green candle, smaller green candle, with a new high is on top of that, and then the last week's candle is actually a red candle and it shows new lows. So this is evidently showing you that more sellers are coming into the market. The price is getting weaker, right? So we're just expecting price to come back to this support area for the initial targets, and we'll see what it does. So for this one, has just been playing out. If you want to see what I initially posted about this, either check the first Pip Breakdown video or just check the Telegram somewhere around the date of September 9th, September 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there. So we can see from the weekly time frame that price was making new lows, right? From like this area, we can see all that. Price touched this highly sensitive support area for 3 times before going straight up, and it's been consistent green candles, actually. Consistent green candles, so shows you that it's very touchy area. From the daily time frame, price has been showing that its short-term trend is up, right? And then from this area, price rejected with that green candle, and so we can expect 2 possibilities from here. Either price will come to this previous high, right, give us a double top and then show reasons to sell, and this will be evident by the candles that it starts making, or from that we can just see price rise actually all the way to this resistance area, and then we'll have to see how the candles develop there as well, if it wants to show us more bullish opportunities or more bearish opportunities, and then from there we can be able to capitalize on that, judging by correlation, currency strength, and see if the price wants to continue falling, right? So like I mentioned previously in the other videos, is that price can it has a lot of options for what it can do. So we can see that the route this one took was to pop above and then retest the floor, and then now on its way back up to the resistance. Right, so that kind of concludes it for this video. I don't really touch on any commodities or anything like that, but I would like to touch on gold, because I know for some of the people that like DM me and ask me on this pair, I did tell them I was bullish on gold, and then from gold hit the resistance, price should then fall. But basically we can see from this pair on the weekly time frame that it's interacting with a very strong, I'm going to call this a yearly resistance, just because last time we were kind of in this area was April 1st, 2013, right? This was what, 6 years ago? So very touchy area. From there, we can see that currently market price has been making those lower low market structures. So that's kind of what we're expecting. The short-term trend is up, right? So we rode it to the top, rode it to the bottom, and then from here, we just expect price to break below this support area, because this goes along with the higher time frame, right? But we do got to see how it reacts to it. If price does start showing more bullish market structure, then we know we can try to get on a short-term trend back to the resistance. But ultimately, we're looking to sell this pair with the current market structure. And then from here, we would then be seeing how price wants to develop again. Does it want to pull back and then continue down, or just continue downwards? You know, it has options. So that's it for this video. You know, you can hop in the Telegram, get some indications for where price might be headed based on my perspectives. From that, if you do want to find more information on this or like my trading style, you know, you can just check me out on the business Instagram page or my personal Instagram. And then on top of that, you can also just check out my website. You know, I have my stats and other traders, profits other traders are making. And it's just a place where you can learn more, you know. So if you like this video, rate, comment, share, subscribe, you know how all that works. So we can get some other people in Telegram group and have more people making money. So thank you for watching. See you on the next video.